Good morning. Hey, friends, it's me, Alicia D. Williams, author of Genesis Begins Again and Shirley Chisholm Dared and Jump at the Sun. I was going over some of the questions from a school visit I did with Troy Middle School in Troy, Michigan. Shout out to Troy Middle School and the students there. I got a list of questions to ask me about Genesis. And one major question: what inspired me to write the story Genesis Begins Again? And I always get this question. And I really do wish I had some amazing, brilliant story to share, but I don't. Inspiration comes from everywhere, whether it's from a conversation or from a news article that you read or from a book or from a childhood event. It is literally everywhere. And sometimes we keep that memory with us for years have been made an impact. So while I was in graduate school, I didn't know anything about writing, and I was in writing, specifically the writing program. And my advisor told me to sit down and start writing. I had no idea what was going to come on the page. I was still just busy trying to learn how to write. And I initially wrote a story about a girl who was being bullied. She was being bullied for being dark skinned with natural hair, and she was heavy set. Those things, three things, I really, well, the heavy set one, I was really could closely identify with it because I was body shamed a lot growing up and still get body shamed. And I was growing up pudgy, fatso, and all these bad names. But the more I revised and thought about the story and what I want to tackle, I want the essence of this whole idea of beauty and who gets to define beauty, and why do we always succumb to what other people define beauty for as, and we don't define it for ourselves, right? So I thought the most pertinent thing for this character was beauty, and colorism is a internalized racism, and we don't talk about that a lot, and I saw it so much growing up. It's colorism is the discrimination between light skin and dark skin in the space in one's own community, and every colonized country has an issue of colorism, whether it's defined by beauty or whether it's defined by social status or caste system. So therefore colorism exists every colonized country, but I really wanted to think about the idea of beauty and dark skin, and how light skin is preferred. The more beautiful you are, the more European you look. And I did this, one, not only because I saw it, but because the heart of the story was really Genesis coming to terms with self acceptance, and realizing that other characters played a role, and her dad wanting to, this idea of marrying up, as you discuss in the book, marrying lighter because you think that gives you more privilege and that's more beautiful. So I really felt those dynamics really hit home. And when you write a story, you want to make it as streamlined as possible. So I was all over the place, heavy set and colorism and hair texture, and but I needed to focus the story, and that was the sense essence. So three things that I really wanted this story, as I really started evolving the story: who gets to define beauty, and why can't we define beauty for ourselves? Two, how we carry as kids, we carry our parents' mistakes. You see Genesis carrying her dad's mistakes and trying to fix it. And three, I really thought that I wanted us to start thinking a bit about being brave and how we can find ourselves for ourselves instead of comparing ourselves to everyone else. Those elements start to really pay attention. I started to pay attention to. Oh yeah, and mental health, um, and the idea of addiction. Nobody wants to be addicted to alcohol or gambling or food or shopping because it's fun, but we have to realize that it's a sickness, and mental health issues are something we also never really talk about. And so I really wanted to dive into these subjects, and it all came together. So the inspiration came through just trying to figure out what I want to write. and I wish it was, ah, boom, but it wasn't like that. It was discovering who Genesis was and what the story was about. I hope that helps. Thank you. And like, subscribe to the video. And if you have a question, write it below and I'll get to it. Thank you. Bye, friends.